Hi everybody, and welcome back to Plastic Models by a Regular Dude, and a quick kind of near the end of the month update on what's going on the bench. I haven't had much in the way of videos lately, so I figured I'd do this, let you know what's going on. So let's take a look at the bench top. Alright, first up, I'm trying something new here for my angle shots of working on the projects and models and stuff. I'm trying a blue background, so if you could just tell me in the comments section down below if you like this better, or if you like the green better, or if you really don't care. Either way, I'm just kind of curious. I just want to see how it looks when I do my videos, maybe give it a little bit more contrast with model parts and stuff in comparison to the green. Just a little quick testing here. This is a figure that came with the Dragon SdKfz 251/17. This is the driver, and I just threw some primer on him because I was priming something else and I didn't want to waste the remaining primer. So there's that. So let's take a look at the actual kits that I've got going on and what's going on with them. Alright, first up we've got the Sierra Hotels models resin parts detail set for the A10, the Monogram E-10 I'm working on. And as you can see, there's various stages of what's going on here. So I've got them glued on, and I'll talk more in detail on it on the actual video, but I've got them glued on, and I've got some sprue goo drying up. I'd primed this and put some I sprue gooed it, sanded it, primed it to see what I needed to do, and I had a few little other places that need to be taken care of. So that's the progress on that, and so far it's going together really well. You know, just like any other resin parts, there's a little bit that has to be done, especially considering it's going on an old kit like the Monogram kit that, you know, the molding is old and it wasn't quite up to modern standards, but that's going pretty good. Okay, next up we've got the aforementioned Dragon SdKfz 251, and I've got the I applied the hairspray and then sprayed the Tamiya on here for the winter whitewash, and I just peeled off the masking for that. So you know, you can see that it's not real opaque as far as the coverage, but that's because I want it to look worn, and once I start doing the chipping, it's going to really chip it off and make it look worn. I want it to be well worn, so that's where that is. And I gotta say that in looking at this, where the decals are, it worked really well as far as the decals blending into the paint, and that has to do in part with the current flat that I'm using for my models right now, and that's the Model Master acryl flat clear water wash up. This stuff is $5.99 for a 1 fluid ounce bottle. I can get it at my local Hobby Lobby. I've done quite a few kits now, and I'm only down to that much. I don't thin it at all. I use it straight from the bottle. I just make sure it's really mixed up really, really well, and it does a really good job. And this is one of those items, one of those products that as you're applying it, it's kind of like the SdKfz primer. First time you use it, you kind of freak out because it can look all lumpy and just nasty and rough looking, and this is the same way. It just looks real splotchy and spotty. I just set it aside, leave it, and it dries really, really smooth. And I'll show an example of that here pretty soon. But I think that helps these decals. I also use it on the F4F Wildcat that I did recently, and it really seemed to blend the thick Tamiya decals in really well. So it's pretty good stuff. I like it. So I might find something better in the future, but you know, who knows. But anyway, that's the progress of that. So this one is ready for me to start chipping on it. And I think what I might do is I might start weathering underneath here first, so I can attach all the running gear, weather underneath here, and then that way I can start weathering all of it, including the wheels and stuff, at the same time. All right, and here is the Bronco StuG III Ausf E that I've been working on for quite some time. So I got it painted with the XF63, got the decals on, and sprayed it with the aforementioned Model Master acrylic, and works out really good. Seems to really blend the edges of the decals in really well, so there's not a ridge. Now, if it was a really super thick decal, like maybe an Academy decal, it might not be able to handle that, but a decent decal, this seems to work really good. And as I mentioned, this is one of those products that when you apply it, it looks horrible, but you just got to let it do its thing, and let it cure, and it comes out really smooth, really nice. And what's nice about it is generally I like to do my weathering on a flat or on a gloss clear, and then put a flat over it, and then do whatever I need to do after that. But this stuff takes washes and filters and stuff really well, so it's not necessary to put a gloss coat and then do weathering and then do a flat coat. So that's kind of nice. It saves a layer, saves some products. So anyway, the other thing is the tracks. So I got Kaizen tracks for it because I really like Kaizen tracks. I've used them quite a bit on other kits, and as you can see, they do the sag thing really well. Now, I'm not sure if this is supposed to have the open guide horn tracks or not. This has the solid, but whatever, it doesn't matter, because when I put these in here to make sure I test fit it, I wanted to test fit and make sure I had enough links. I discovered something. The guide horns are too wide for the gap in the wheels and in the return rollers. So this is where I discovered it. As you see, they won't go down inside of there. They will mostly go down and I don't know why I didn't notice this before, but see, even in the idler, it doesn't go down in there like it should. Now it fits the drive sprocket very well. I mean, lines up perfectly, but it just doesn't do it. So I'm gonna have to save these tracks for a different kit. Again, I like the tracks, so I'm gonna actually have to buy a kit that will work with these tracks and that have the solid guide horns. So it's kind of doing it the backwards way, but you got to do what you got to do. So my alternative is one of two things. I can either use some Frill tracks that Peter Person sent me, the same person who sent me this, or that I was doing the buddy build with on this tank. He sent me some Frill tracks, and they fit perfectly. They're awesome, but I was really wanting to save those for another project. Fortunately, that other project had these in it, and these are the correct width tracks, and they will work nicely. They are open guide horn tracks, so these will work. So that problem is solved. So I put some Solvaset on the decal, so I'm going to let that dry up, and in the meantime I can start assembling these tracks and get those ready for, get them test fit around and make sure everything's cool there, and then I will I'll get them See that? That's so I can put them on the front. I meant to do that. So anyway, I can get those primed and start getting those painted up so I can include those in the weathering. So that is what's going on with the Bronco StuG III. Alright, and there you have it. So we got the A-10 still going, the Dragon SdKfz 251/17 going, and the Bronco StuG III Alpha E going. So hopefully I can start getting some of this stuff wrapped up. Well, the 251 and the StuG III. Get those wrapped up so I can get started on some of these other projects like the IDF group build and the Peter Person tribute group build, which I'll be talking more about those at the beginning of July. So that's pretty much it for now. Let me know what you think, about what's going on the bench. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, or tips, or anything, hit me to those if you would. And I'd also like to know if you like the blue background for the videos of the close-up stuff on the bench. Let me know if you like it, if you don't like it, if you're indifferent, and just kind of let me know if you think the contrast of the blue to the model parts is better than the green. So if you comment on that, I'd appreciate it. So anyway, that's pretty much it for now. Stay tuned. I'll have some more videos coming up in the not too distant future, I don't think. But anyway, that's it for now from Plastic Models by a Regular Dude, and I will see you all later.